Hi, I'm Izzy, and this is Dizzy Quilts and Sews. Welcome to this week's episode of Friday Sews. All right, what's been going on with me this week or in the sewing room this week? I do not have a whole lot to share with you because I have finished nothing. I have been down here, I have been working hard on something, but nothing to share yet. I did publish the Think Pink video for this month earlier this week. So this was box number 33. I got a gorgeous rayon fabric in the box, and I made myself a beautiful blouse to wear to work. So it's the Swanton blouse by the Cashmerette Club. Absolutely love my blouse. If you want to go watch the whole reveal and everything, I'm going to put a link to that video down below. But I also shared the finished blouse on Instagram, and many of you love it as much as I do, which is really, really cool. I wore it to work, tucked into some black trousers with a gray cardigan on top, and oh my goodness, I felt so nice and polished and professional. Yeah, it's a good one. I was really, really excited. Now, other than publishing my Think Pink video this week, I've been working on my Miriam trousers, also by Cashmerette. This one's not a club pattern though, it's in their main line. So far, I have made 2 muslins. Yes, 2. And I'm gonna need to make a third one. So I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not at all discouraged by this because I've been having a ball working on my trousers. This time, I'm not feeling discouraged. I am not feeling frustrated. I am just feeling like those are all of the steps that I need to take to make these trousers fit to me perfectly. So not that I am overfitting or being overly, like I'm not going for perfection per se, but I want these to be as close to perfect as possible. So the first muslin I made, the only change I'd made to the pattern is to just scoop the back crotch a little bit to allow for my low seat. And that was it. But that first muslin gave me a really good idea of what was going on everywhere with the trousers. So, you know, was the knee at the right place? Did I need more room at the inseam? Was the waist the right size? So it gave me a lot of clues, which was great. So then I made all of those adjustments to the pattern piece. And by the way, I'm working on a video for this whole process, so I will be showing you the muslins, the try-ons every time, and all of the adjustments I'm making. So hang tight for that. That's coming at the end of the month. Muslin number 2 was almost there. But, and here's the thing. So a lot of you have told me in the comments to other videos of mine that trousers scare you because they're so difficult to fit. Or when I talk about a new pattern I'm trying or a new company pattern company that I'm trying, a lot of you go in the comments and tell me, oh, I would love to try one of these, but that just looks like it would be way too hard to fit or way too complicated to fit. Now, I used to think that way when well, not just as a beginner, well into my sewing journey, I would stick to pattern styles or garment types that I knew would require minimal fitting or that I could just whip up and put on and they would work. Because, and I think there are 2 reasons why I did that, and probably why you do that as well if you do that. First of all is the whole body image thing. So sometimes having to make all of these adjustments. So a full tummy, a full seat, a low seat, a knock knee, a tilted waist, a sway back, whatever the case may be, we sometimes attach some kind of negative judgment on our body because of those adjustments. Now, I've worked really hard to stop doing that. You know what? I'm 55 years old. I have a low bum. It is what it is. You know what? Gravity takes over. It just does. So that I don't feel bad about the fact that I have to adjust a pattern for my low bum. I don't feel bad because I have to adjust a pattern for my bigger thighs. You know what? It is what it is. So we all need to stop attaching some kind of negative judgment to the fact that we need to adjust patterns. First of all, those patterns are made from a standard block and then graded down or graded up. They fit one type of figure. There's no way that for a more fitted garment, they would fit you or me right off the printer. That's just impossible. We are all going to need to do a little bit of work to make these fit us. So that's the first thing. So there's no reason to feel bad about all of the work we're going to have to do to make the pattern fit us. Nothing wrong with us. Nothing wrong with our bodies. Nothing wrong with our low bums or full tummies or lumps and bumps. Okay. Second reason why people are afraid to try new styles is they don't want to waste good fabric on something that may or may not come out. Now, I used to think that a lot. Fabric is not cheap. It costs a lot of money, not to mention the time I would have to spend making muslins. Now, to counter that argument, I say, get yourself some inexpensive fabric. That could be a sheet you picked up at the thrift store. This could be an old sheet that is now a little, stained or torn or whatever. Take it off your bed and make muslins from that sheet. You can buy on sale an actual roll of muslin fabric. I did that. These are my Miriam trouser muslins. I've got a whole roll of muslin fabric. I bought this a year, 18 months ago. It was on sale. I think it came out to $1 a yard or $1 a meter even, to make myself all kinds of test garments. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on fabric to practice. And then the flip side of that is if you try to make different garment types and you don't make a muslin and you cut into your fabric and end up not wearing it or it doesn't fit, then you haven't saved anything. You've not saved money on fabric and you've not saved any time because you're not going to wear that garment. So all that time you spent making it is down the drain anyways. So instead of, and this I'm talking a lot about me here because those thoughts all were into my mind as well. So I'm not being judgy or pointing fingers, but if you are seeing styles out there that you want to try, like that beautiful pussy bow blouse that I made this week, like if I was still in my old mindset, I would have said, oof, there's no way I can make that. Oh my gosh, the princess seams and fitting that and this and that and the other thing. If there are styles out there that interest you, that you want to make for yourself because they fit your style, they would be perfect for work or for activities that you do on a daily basis, just get yourself inexpensive fabric, practice, 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 and just do them. The other thing I hear a lot is, oof, I wouldn't even know where to start to make the adjustments I would need. Well, there are a couple of things you can do about that too. Google is your friend. Search, how do I do a low butt adjustment? How do I do a full tummy adjustments? Also, a lot of pattern companies have started including instructions for those in their patterns, mostly indie patterns. However, some of the big four, Palmer and Plash, have those in their instructions. And there are a bunch of books that you can get at the library that will basically help you make the adjustments. I know that one of the hardest part of all of this is identifying the adjustments you need. So what does that drag line mean? Or what does that fold mean? And this, I think, comes with experience. So the more muslins you make, the more you experiment, the better you're going to get at identifying what your garment needs. So what I did with my second muslin of the Miriam, I put it on my body, I stood in front of the mirror, I took a video of myself and really looked at what the garment was telling me. Where is there pulling? Where do I not feel super comfortable? What happens if I pinch a little of the fabric here? And what happens if I open that seam a little bit? And you just experiment like that. And after a few garments, you're just going to start getting the hang of it. That's how we learn, right? We learn by doing. So I feel like I'm preaching a little bit, but I felt very constrained and limited and sad with all of these limiting beliefs in my head that I couldn't do a button-up shirt. I couldn't possibly do a pair of trousers without an elastic waist. Of course I could. Of course you can. You just have to do it. Just sitting there hoping that one day I was going to be able to make trousers was not going to make me able to make trousers. So sacrifice a little bit of time, sacrifice a little bit of inexpensive fabric, and start playing, start experimenting, start learning how to adjust patterns to fit you. Now, the super thing about doing that is at the end of it, you have a bunch of patterns that fit you perfectly, almost perfectly, and that you can do on repeat. Change the fabric, change the length, put on a different sleeve, and you have a completely new garment. Nobody would know that, those 3 dresses are the exact same pattern. So, and that's a time saver at the end, because you can whip up something confidently, knowing it's going to fit you in no time. So there's my little speech or my little preaching for today. Now let me know in the comments below if you've ever limited yourself, or if you ever thought that, oof, I'm not going to buy that pattern because there's no way I can adjust this to fit me. And hopefully I've managed to change your mind a little bit. Sewing should be fun. We should be making the things that we love to wear. So yeah, leave some of those thoughts for me down in the comments. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I know I didn't have any finishes to show you, and I have had no life this week. So there is no life segment to this week's video. But hopefully I've helped you a little bit, I've inspired you a little bit, and let's continue the conversation down in the comments below. Thanks again, and I will see you soon.